Hello my friends and welcome back to Absurdia. Today we're visiting the so-called warlock country of Eastern Eldavik. Now you guys remember how I said in the last video that Western and Eastern Eldavik are like two very different places from each other? Well, that's due to the fact that Eastern Eldavik kinda sucks. Eldavik as a whole is already known as the Dark Continent, but that is mostly prominent in its eastern regions. As I mentioned before, Eldavik's entire surface is littered with the corpses of ancient fallen titans. And other than the magic that surrounds these once great titans, there's also a fair share of eldritch and demonic forces at play who are just looking for anybody who would want to make a deal with them for ultimate power. And there you go, warlock country. And it ultimately boils down to the country's obsession with power and magic. As this is the country that is favored by Vanitas, the false god of pride and magic. As such, you can probably discern that the Emperor of Eldavik is probably the most powerful magic user in the entire world. And yeah, that's kind of a necessity for the job. It's a huge requirement. So, the leadership in Eldavik is changing with whoever gets to be the most powerful, but the current emperor has his signature look ingrained onto the country's flag. And yeah, could you guess who my inspiration was? The Emperor of Eldavik rules from his seat of power in Inotria, the capital of Eldavik and also the biggest city in the entire world. The city of Inotria is said to have been built by Vanitas himself. It houses billions of beings, demonic and mortal alike. It's very easy to lose yourself here, and very easy to find something you really shouldn't have. East of Inotria, you would find Velcanor. The in-universe rumor is that the scholars of Velcanor, well, they were looking for something. And unfortunately for them, they found it. And now, the entirety of the city has been cursed by this beastly plague that seeks to wipe them out. Very much bloodborne, yeah, just bloodborne. To the north of Inotria lies Noxareth, as well as the Hall of the Threefold Throne, the ancient home of the Drow and Dark Elves that inhabit Eldavik, as well as one of the few safe entrances into the Underdark. West of Noxareth is where we would find Hellhold. Should you ever find yourself in Hellhold, I'm sorry. Abandon all hope, that's all I can tell you. Hellhold is the most notorious prison in the world. Probably the only thing worse than ending up in chains in Dolkarath would be ending up in a jail cell in Hellhold. No one has ever escaped. To the east of Inotria lies the Zarkovich Peninsula. It is here where we find Eldavik's most prestigious wizarding academy, the Eclipse Academy. Students and scholars of the Eclipse Academy study a different type of magic than is commonly used in the rest of the world. As I mentioned before, Vanitas, the false god of magic, more on him another time, he favors this country, and as such, they study his type of magic here. And just putting it basically, his type of magic, dark, evil, darkness magic. That is why I think it's rather appropriate that bordering the Eclipse Academy you would find the Cathedral of Perfection. A massive and quite beautiful cathedral dedicated to Vanitas. Soldiers stationed in Eastern Eldavik would wear armor that looks something like this. There is a huge mosque culture in Eldavik. It's generally a good idea for people not to know who you are or to be able to recognize your face. Not if you ever end up here. Eldavik has been known to attract some of the more weird and strange type of magic users. Strange or not though, it is known that Eldavik houses some of the most powerful. So should you ever find yourself in the dark continent of Eldavik, pack your wand. Last little thing about Eldavik though. Have you guys noticed these? Well, of course in the days of Zervatar they had a bunch of other outposts. I mean, hell, there's an old, forgotten civilization that might be part of it in the Barnacle Blade Archipelago. But in Eldavik is where they had most of their biggest outposts. But even before the fall, there was a lot of fuck shit happening here, and they had their own reasons for failing, other than the great fall of Zervatar. But more on that another time. Stick around, my friends, because next we will be covering Yamadori. Stay tuned!